If you can hear me, Mark, let me know. No, it doesn't. Let's try this. Oh, you can hear me. Can you hear me, Mark? Oh, you can. Okay, you can hear me. All right, great. Come on in. Great. So, you know what's so funny about these things is when you're not in production and things like that. Hello. Oh, look at that. I should have known when I wasn't getting thumbs up that you couldn't hear me, but I did ask the question. So I'm going to go back. Welcome. Thank you. This is the bootstrap version of Couples Convo.
On location version of Couples Convo.
Our production person had to be out of town, and so the show must go on, as they say. So the question was, so you can think about it, was when did you realize you were in love? So you can think about that, and I will retell my story. Hey, Darnice, hey, how appropriate, you just came in. So I was actually met my wife at Darnice's wedding, and she was sitting in front of me, and I did not know who she was. And so I was the curiosity, I'm a curious person, got the best in me. I'm like, okay, who is this person?
Right.
She had on a beautiful, simple black dress.
Okay.
And she looked stunning. From the back, of course.
From the back.
See her
so the back was, silhouette was great.
Yeah, so it was great, and I was on a date, no less.
So you're cheating on your date?
Well, no. I mean, we were friends.
Oh, just a friend date.
We were just a friend date. You know, guys usually can't go to weddings single.
I can't.
No. Well, at least I couldn't. I had to go with a date.
Okay.
And so she ended up at our table.
Okay. She got to the front then.
And then I realized who it was. And there was a little back history that wasn't favorable on my part. And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
And so, of course, I was trying to figure out how I was going to make amends. And due to some unforeseen circumstances, she ended up next to me.
Wow.
Yeah, just not far from where you are right now.
Wow.
And so I had to use my game a little bit. I had a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
And got to talk, and we had a great time. And so as we got towards the evening, I knew things were really clicking very well.
Right.
You know, we danced a little bit, but I wasn't disrespectful because I was on a date.
So you left room for Jesus?
Well, I mean, I just left room to just not be disrespectful.
I get it.
You know?
I said that only because my daughter's at a dance, and I told her, remember to leave room for Jesus.
Yeah, oh,
so,
well, you know.
That's where my head is right now.
And so what I did was we had a very nice conversation. Asked if I could come back and we could talk.
Okay.
But the next night I had to go on a bike ride, and you know, it had been late, and she was going back to Washington D.C.
Okay.
So I said I would call her, and I'm sure she probably didn't think I would call. You know,
yeah,
we say we call, and then we never do.
You never call.
And it's just like, you know.
So,
but I knew that I was going to call, and so I knew some things were going along very well. But then it was substantiated when we had a date. So I went down to where she was. She was in Maryland area, Silver Spring, and I was here. So I drove down, and she was a very good listener. So she had lasagna which was my favorite.
Okay.
And she also had, what are those nails? The French, she had French manicure.
Oh, French
So
manicure.
at that moment,
then that was it.
That was it.
I was
done.
You were done.
I was done. We had a great time.
That's
and
awesome.
we've been together ever since.
I love it.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's a great
and
story.
So what about you?
Well, are we talking about in love with the people that we're with now? I'm only kidding.
I would hope we're
I'm
talking
just
about
playing.
that.
I'm just playing.
You got another extra thing you want to bring up?
I don't have any extra things. I was just being silly. Definitely not love at first sight, because he had a high top eraser top fade, whatever it was, when we met. And
I mean, he was doing the Kid and Play look. Come on.
It was 2000.
That's okay. I mean, maybe it got to him late.
It did, because he's from Ghana, Africa. So I think a lot of things
takes a while to travel.
I think it took a lot of time to travel, and then when he got here, he's like, "Forget it, I'm doing it now," and that's just me. But we were introduced to a friend, and I was just like, yeah. And then we were introduced again. We went to a picnic, and I was told somebody else was coming to get me. And he ended up coming with that somebody else to get me.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh my God, I'm so annoyed. This is annoying. Like, I don't want to be thrown with this guy. I don't even really know him. And then he spent all day sitting next to me, as close to you are.
Okay.
Talking to me about things I could not understand, or actually cared less to understand, because they had to deal with Ghana and I wasn't there, so.
There's no Google translation back then, right?
No, and so I was like, excuse me, like his accent is so thick. I'm used to it now, almost 17 years later.
Okay.
But in the beginning, it was like, what? Okay, can you just spell it for me? So then I did say that. I actually, when he said something to me, I couldn't figure out what he was saying, so I said, just spell it, and then I'll figure it out. So I would say we met, we got married 6 months after we met.
Okay.
But, then that's like, you're infatuated and you're like filled with all these amorous feelings. And so I wouldn't say that I was in love, but I was in.
You're in amorosity.
I was in,
Amorosity. All right.
Amorosity and very affectionate. And then I would say maybe 2 years in, I would say I was in love, like where I could say, I can't be without this person. Like, I have to be there with this guy. And then, so I would say 2 years in, I was in love, but it was like a slow migration, like to that part. I'm not a very affectionate, wear my passion out on a sleeve type of person. I'm not very.
So like cold, like icy.
I'm kind of a little bit like an ice queen.
So you like the freeze? You like the snow miser?
Well, yeah, definitely the snow miser. Well, and it's all because of the past. The other relationships that I've had where I've given too much too quick, and I've fallen too fast, and then you get burnt, and then you get jaded. Fool me once, shame on me. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. But so it was a slow, steady, consistent thing. He consistently showed me. That he loved me. He bought me gifts for he never missed a holiday. He never missed a date. If there was a reason for a card, I had one. And I think I still have them.
You have all?
All. I think I still have them.
In storage, right?
In storage, because the box is
so huge.
Huge.
Okay.
Because I'm worthy of a lot of cards. But so we got to that point, and I was like, okay, fine, this is it. I can't live without this guy. He professed, which was totally different for me. He professed his undying love for me. Like, I can't live without you, and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm so glad that we're married. And everybody said that I was making the right choice by not worrying. Don't worry about marrying an American woman. Just she was raised right. Like he kept saying, she was raised right. So now I'm like, okay.
But when?
I said about 2 years
when
in.
did it kick in?
I said about 2 years in for me.
2 years.
Yeah, like that's when I was really, 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 really head over heels in love with this guy, laughing at corny, stupid jokes. And
so he went through that's a thorough process.
A thorough vetting process. More than the Supreme Court justice goes through. Thorough Supreme Court justice.
Did he know it took that long?
He did not know it took that long. We talked about it 4 years in when we had my daughter.
4 years in?
That's when I really let him know.
So it's like a presidential thing. After the so he had after the president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, I was 2 years in. I loved him to death, and I was just like,
Wow.
okay, this is my dude, and we're gonna ride or die. And then when I had my daughter, which I was never supposed to have kids, so when I was blessed with having a child, you know, I was like, okay, now this is really,
Okay.
really.
So you think it takes that long?
I think it took longer for us because we were so infatuated so quick, or I was infatuated with the thought of what it could be so quick that the rest of my spirit and soul and feelings had to catch up. So it was me.
Gotcha.
More so.
You had to get to know the brother too.
Yeah, because 6 months I didn't
he had
really
to
know
get
much.
to know you.
He really needs
to know me. He's going through a lot.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Whew, okay.
Okay.
Now, with that said, we got a question from not from the audience, but we got a pre-question since it was about the whole wedding thing.
Okay.
Should you invite your ex to the wedding?
So, sure.
Just that simple.
Yeah. I've been invited to my ex's weddings, and I think I went to one. I think maybe.
Did you cry?
Heck no. I was like, thank God I got that one.
Well, that's because
no,
you didn't like the ex.
No, actually, I really care for all my exes. All my exes and I are still friends. My exes know my husband. We sometimes end up at the same gatherings together because, I haven't had short relationships. I've had really long relationships.
Okay.
So, what was it, like 6 months ago, I think one of my exes were hanging out at the house. We were watching television, all of us together, just shooting the breeze.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I keep everything above board. I mean, they know where I'm at. I know where they're at. They're married now. They have kids. We're married. We have kids, So, yeah. My thing is, like, what I don't like is when people say that they hate their ex. Unless shy of killing me or doing something like that to someone in my family, there was a genuine love for whatever the time was that you guys were in the relationship. So you might have parted on bad ways, but there's still going to be things about that relationship that are going to be special and fond to you. So you can never truly hate your ex, because you also have to thank them in a way because they've taught you what you will and will not stand for, what you will or will not tolerate, and how much stronger of an individual you are because you went through whatever it is that you went through with them. You came out on top and you were able to ultimately love again. So.
Well, the great thing, I mean, I agree to a point. I mean, our ex, or my wife's ex, was at our wedding. I mean, Aileen, he is the godfather of our kids.
See? Look at that.
So it does work.
It works. When you're all adults, it works.
I think from a women's perspective, they can invite their ex because they're choosing you.
Right.
They're choosing you. So, I mean, what's it to get mad at?
Right.
But I don't know if it works the other way around.
I don't know why. I mean, and it should. It really should, only because, if a guy invites his ex, the woman should also see, like, okay, well, he wants to show everybody in his life, not just the current people in his life, but everybody in his life who he's chosen as well. So if she can say, I can invite my ex because I'm choosing you, babe, then he should be able to say the same thing, like, I'm inviting my ex because I chose you over her.
Well, people just get nervous because of the movies, because they see them bolting, and then it's just like.
We talked about those movies on Valentine's Day where they put everything in for 2 hours and it's garbage because it's not real.
Oh, but they're very good, though.
Oh, they might be very good. They're not very real.
What is it? Oh, the wedding. What's the name of that movie?
What one?
The Wedding Crashers.
Oh, the Wedding Crashers was great.
Oh, so
I want to be a wedding crasher.
It was Wedding Crashers.
I want to be a wedding crasher. I think I should do that.
No.
That'll be my new profession.
You're too tall.
I can shrink down.
You can't. No, you can't. You can't. It's not going to work.
I can.
No,
I'm going to try.
You're going to get found out.
Vince Vaughn is taller than me, and he made it.
Well, Vince, he has a certain character, I guess.
I don't have that same.
You know?
I think I'm very much like Vince Vaughn.
You think you're Vince Vaughn?
We're both that same type of dry, sarcastic humor. I think I would do well at these things. I think I'm going to try that.
Well, if you get.
I'm going to start looking at the wedding.
You get the guy like he got the girl. You may be in.
Well, I'm not going to look for the guy. I'm just going for the fun because I already have a guy. So.
I don't know. All right. You're right. Let's see.
Oh, it's a question.
Yeah, it's another additional card here. And then we're going a little bit over today because we started late due to no sound. And thank you, my man, Mark Clarkus again for helping me. Hello, Elder Bennett. Thank you for joining. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. And if you do have a question that we might want to pop up, feel free to just leave a comment, and we'll try to discuss it over the next few minutes or so. So go ahead, pick a card.
My pick.
Yes. What does it say?
How do you calm down after a fight?
Ooh. Oh, how do you calm down after a fight? So, I'm pretty easygoing most of the time. Okay. Most of the time. And so, I tend to shrinking's probably not a good word, but tend to overthink certain, when, because I lose most fights. I think we talked about that last week. Who wins the arguments?
Yes.
Or the first week?
Yes.
And so I'm usually losing the arguments. And so I'm going to think about, well, what could I have done better? Men are competitors. And how could I have got my point across? So I could have won that one. And, but usually it never happens. Never happens. So, but there have been times where I've just been so angry, whatever I was mad at. And so in order to bring myself down a couple of times, I had to go out back and kind of hit stuff.
Oh, I like that.
The trash or trash can.
Kick the can.
Kick the lawn.
Kick everything. Kick a fence. Kick a tire.
Yeah. So, because you have to get some of that aggression out. You don't want to kick anybody in the house.
Right.
That would be a problem. Some people haven't learned that, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately, they have not.
So, go out back or go. You don't want to drive anywhere either. No. So, go for a walk. Let some of that aggression out. So that's what I've kind of done in the past to do that. If I'm not thinking about it for, staying up and thinking about it for hours on end.
I don't have that problem. For me, to calm down after a fight, I don't really do anything because I win, so I'm not really upset.
So you basically just letting all the air out, and he takes it all in.
Right. So, but perfect question for today, though, because I was so annoyed with him earlier today.
What?
Really, really, really
Why?
Annoyed. Because there's one thing I hate. When I'm commuting and you ring my phone, and I don't answer, it's because I'm either in the subway or on the train.
Okay.
But when you consistently ring my phone right after you hang up the first time, you keep ringing the phone, it annoys me.
But he really needed to talk.
He didn't really need to talk to me because the conversation that we had in the morning was, I will call you when I get to Penn Station. So.
Did you call him when you got to Penn Station?
I didn't have the opportunity because he kept calling me. So I was aggravated. So when I got in the car, I said, you know what? This is what I don't like. And I'm tired of it. So if you call me and I don't answer, leave me a text and I'll get back to you. Right? So then I was done. So the only way I calmed down after that fight, because I had the kids in the car and I needed to be calm and I couldn't really say everything I wanted to say, was I saw some stupid little advertisement for drink naked white rum.
Okay, but
from St. Croix. So I made a joke about it. And then I brought us both back to an equal playing ground.
Who's us? Oh.
Myself and Lazarus.
Oh. So why did he really need to talk to you? There must have been a reason.
The reason was, are you going to be able to pick us up at the school? He had just went and picked up my daughter, and he wanted to know if he should jump on the bus to go home or if he should wait for me.
Okay.
But he knew at time.
Huh?
He already knew the time.
He already knew the time.
Yeah.
And so, well, he didn't want to jump on the bus.
Bro, the train is the train.
Okay. So, but you didn't do what you said you were going to do, though.
I did. When I got to Penn Station, I did call him.
Oh, you did call him.
I yelled at him for calling me 20 times. I don't need to hear my phone in my ear 20 times. I'm on the train. I'm always sitting in the quiet car, so I'm never picking up my phone because I don't like people who are on the train.
So what could you do differently?
Nothing.
You could have turned it off.
I could have turned it off.
Right.
But then I can't listen to my music. That's my time. On the train is my time to decompress from work and to prepare myself to deal with my husband and my family.
So you should have told him that you would call him when you got to New York, got off the train.
That's what I told him when I got to Penn Station, Newark. Henceforth, getting off the train.
Well, there's a Penn Station, New York.
Bro, I get on.
That's what I was thinking.
No, but I get on there. I'm not going to call him from there. I was calling him And we always do the same thing every Friday. This is why I get annoyed, because it's the same thing every Friday. He'll call me 15 times. My daughter will call me 2 times because he tells her to call me because he thinks I'll answer her versus him.
And I saw him today. He was in such a good mood.
He was so happy to tell me he
he
saw
was
him.
Such a good
He's
mood.
like, we saw King.
And then you just
deflated him.
deflated him.
I did it. Yep.
And isn't he working today? Oh, he's off today, right?
He's working tonight.
He works tonight. So now he's gonna have to go to work like this, sulking.
Nope. Because I made him laugh and we were cool.
You made him laugh, so he's cool.
And we joked
and
around.
You said sorry?
No.
No. Do you ever say sorry?
I do.
But you didn't feel this was necessary.
This was not necessary today. It wasn't my fault. He should have said sorry to me.
He should have said sorry to you.
Yes.
He didn't say sorry?
Nope.
Is that a problem?
No.
So
I'm over it now.
Oh, you're over it now.
There's a problem then.
Because you were joking about alcohol.
No, because it was a stupid sign. Drink the naked turtle.
Drink the naked
from St. Croix.
Look,
naked white rum.
It works.
It worked. It calmed us both down.
You get a little something. You gonna get a little that, little something.
No.
Okay.
I get please.
Hey, everybody, get some of that naked turtle. If you have an argument with your partner, your spouse, your husband, wife, go out and get some
naked turtle.
Naked turtle.
Yeah.
That will do the trick.
It'll do the trick.
Okay. Another question. No one has any questions today?
No, but Marcus thought that last one was a great question.
Yeah, good. Good. So
thanks,
that means we're gonna have something
to talk about later.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, my turn, right? My turn to pick?
Yeah, I mean, you should.
Oh, okay. I don't know if we did this one.
What?
Is it more important for a couple to have great conversation, lots of laugh, or great sex? Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah. Ha! Ha!
Well.
Yes.
We already established that I'm the ice queen. Yeah.
So we already know that. You can check that one off.
So for me, great conversation.
Underline, cross that out. Great conversation.
And lots of laughs.
And
And I'm going to say?
Oh, isn't it? You have to pick one, no, isn't it?
Is it more important for a couple to have great conversation, lots of laughs? Oh, or great
There's
sex?
just no comma there.
Oh, or great sex.
Yeah.
So it's one of the three.
It's only one of the two. You took the third one off.
Oh, yeah, so it's one of the two.
Yeah.
I would just say great conversation because I can laugh anytime at anything. So
great conversation.
Yeah, for me. Yeah.
And why?
Just because that's more meaningful to me when we speak, and have a great conversation about whatever it is. It could be about our relationship. It could be about our friends' relationships. It could be about our, my parents, the kids, or, the state of the world and political affairs, which is his favorite topic, which bores me to death. But I will do it because that's what he.
Come on now, because that's a pretty busy topic.
Yeah, but I mean, I could.
That's a tough one because the great sex will open up the lines of communication. Just like the floodgates will just be coming, right? But that you will just get wonderful stories. They'll be inspirational. They will just
really.
Yeah.
How inspirational are men after great sex?
Very.
They are, because I hear this.
Absolutely.
Every woman will understand if they say they have great sex and then all of a sudden their men just turn over and go to sleep. You guys are not inspirational after great sex.
The ladies aren't sleeping either.
No.
Come on now. Because you jazzed up?
I don't know about other women, but I'm just I don't sleep, first of all, so.
Well, so you can't even use use yourself.
But if I don't sleep and then I have great sex on top of that, then I'm really not sleeping. And then I'm like baking, 15 batches of cookies before 4 o'clock in the morning and then going to work. So yeah, I would say I'm jazzed up while there's snoring going on in the other room. So I don't know how much inspirational feelings men get after great sex.
But what I'm saying, the great sex can lead to great conversations. Because
what are you gonna talk about? That was great.
I think if that's not included or not in there, the men are gonna be frustrated. They're not gonna want to talk about nothing. You're like, oh dear, what do you think about? No, they're not gonna want to say. They're not gonna want to talk.
Oh, they won't.
No.
So you gotta have great conversation after great sex.
No, I'm just saying if that's included, there'll be a lot more. They'll want to be conversational.
If they have more great sex.
Yeah. That's got to be in there.
So that's got to be
caveat. Yeah.
Just put that in the
I just
marital
think the
vows.
conversation, that's going to be a little bit on the challenge.
Just now put that in the marital vows, saying, okay, I promise great sex so we can have great conversation.
Yeah.
Until death do us part.
I think that should be. I think that should be in there.
Wrinkled.
I think that's. I mean, guys, just that's very important.
I mean, passion, great sex, it is important.
It is important, yes.
It keeps the spice alive, but I don't know how. I mean, I think it goes back to, again, when we talked on the other shows, that I guess if you have great sex, you open yourself up to a different level of vulnerability and a different level of humility, not humility like you fell down type of thing, but humility with itself, because you're really bare, or like the naked turtle.
Yeah.
Really naked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can see that it happens, but I'm just saying.
And I think with that, over time,
Right.
there's a spontaneity
Okay.
there. There's also.
Well, that's a whole other topic.
Well, I mean, in order to have, it's got to be spontaneous. It's also got to be you thinking about the other partner. It's not all, right? Can't be great if you're only thinking about yourself.
Correct.
You have to think about the other partner, what their needs are, and just giving of yourself. If you're not doing those things, it makes it a lot harder.
Right.
In order to be great. I mean, great conversation. I'm not saying that that's not important. But I think just guys, the way they are raised and reared, the great conversation, they're not going to be sitting down with their guys, or maybe even not even their girlfriends, and having great conversations all the time. And it's something that we as men have to develop, because we are reared on action-oriented type things.
Okay.
And henceforth, that's why the book In the Paint is more about action.
Right.
And then if you build up the great conversation, that makes it even better.
Right, I guess. And I think great sex happens when both people, like you said, they can't be into themselves. But great sex will happen when both people give up on self and give into the feeling.
Right.
You know what I mean? The actual action of what's taking place.
I mean, if you have all three of those, then you've got a great marriage. Hey, longevity.
Longevity, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
21, yeah, almost 21 years.
21, yeah. Hey, I guess we got all.
Hey, you got all that all sprinkled in. I'm only at 16, almost 17, so I guess I'm missing a few sprinkles.
Well, you got 5 more years to get it
to get a couple extra sprinkles.
Get it together. All right, we're gonna do. It's like 40 minutes. We're gonna do one more.
Okay. Make it a good one.
Yeah, okay. This is a very interesting one, because we haven't really touched upon finances that much. So, what would you fear? What would you and your husband fear if you won the lottery? You're like nothing.
Yeah. The funny thing is,
nothing.
We talk about it all the time. I wouldn't fear anything, because first of all, I've got a gazillion family members, so I'd have to take care of them right away, real quick, so that I wouldn't have to worry about them trying to keep coming back. Like, this is your lump sum payment, just like I got a lump sum, you get a lump sum, and that's it. And then we spoke about, doing things for his family back in Ghana, doing things for small, third world countries, giving huge parts of it to missions, starting churches, planting communities. So I wouldn't really have a fear. I would just say I might be fearful of that initial thought to say, hey, I could buy a yacht and a Maserati and 5 houses and, what have you. But once I woke up, I'd say, okay, now I have to be responsible and, invest and, put the things where they need to be. But I would be fearful that I wouldn't have enough to do everything I want to do. That would be the fear. Like, I won a bunch of money, but would it be enough? So then, of course, it's about the right investments and living off the interest and reinvesting the capital all the time. So,
the biggest thing I probably fear is that the kids think now they're entitled to get the money. And it would lend to certain, I'd say the boys. I think the oldest, my daughter, she would still, because she's very sensible, it wouldn't really matter to her. I feel the same about you. I think I would use the money to support and help
Mm-hmm.
people. I think, my wife could retire,
Yeah.
and she could do what she feels she's called to do. She's done a great job, just in the finance industry. There's just a disparity between finance industry money and nonprofit money.
Right.
And so, then I said, oh, guess what? And you can retire now. And I think, she wouldn't retire, but she would do what she'd want to do, and then, use it to give. So there wouldn't be that much of a fear here.
Yeah, I would
For me
retire.
as well.
I would. Whoever in my family owned a house at the moment, I would pay off their entire mortgage so that they just relax.
Right.
All the kids, all my nieces and nephews would have college educations, and so I'm more of a giving individual, so I wouldn't fear, because I know, and I also know how to invest, and then with the businesses and things like that. So I think it would be okay with just.
Oh, that's right. You and all your 50,000 businesses.
Because
you had
I'm a visionary
50,000
every
ideas,
day.
and I would have to knock on your door. Excuse me. Remember we talked about focus on one idea.
Keith would make me go back to the CBA again like 10 times.
Absolutely.
But make me pay for everybody in my class to go through it.
Yeah, now that's a good idea.
It's a really good idea.
And you could actually support the class.
I could support the class.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Yeah,
if I like them.
Oh, yeah, that might be a problem.
No, I told you, I'm
Yes.
like a dude when it comes to that. You got to really impress me.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. So I guess we didn't get a question tonight. That's great. I like this format, though, isn't it?
I like it. I could sit
The
here.
bootstrap version?
Bootstrap version is great because we're bootstrap kind of people.
So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we look forward to doing maybe the bootstrap again in the future.
Yeah.
And you guys have a good night. Be safe. I know in the East Coast it's supposed to snow.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's tomorrow night. Yeah.
Here?
Come on, don't you watch the news?
No, heck no, because there's too many murders and
It's
deaths and
supposed
things
to
like that.
snow tomorrow,
How
so
much?
about 3 to 4 inches.
Oh, that's not snow. That's disgusting.
I hope the Black Panther. Hope you guys go check out the Black
Yes,
Panther.
check
If
it
not, if you hadn't got your tickets yet, you may be out of luck.
No, South Orange, Bowtie Cinemas, they had every show but the 10:15 was sold out. It was open. 10:15 was the only sold out show tonight.
I'll be there tomorrow. I'm super excited. No T-shirts, anything, but I'm going to be there.
Did you all check out Facebook and all these people dressing up like King Jaffe Jaffa from Coming to America to go see the Black Panther? Dude had a lion head like King Jaffe Jaffa on his shoulder.
Hey, we're excited, people. We know this is like our Comic-Con.
Okay. That's not it?
Yeah, it's like our Comic-Con.
Because I'm like, I don't feel like I need to dress up like I just walked off the boat from Zimbabwe to see it.
Yeah. So, good night. I will see you guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. And